Welcome or welcome back. My name is Crystal, and today I am so excited to share with you what's going to be the beginnings of a new series of content here on my YouTube channel. If you've been following me for any length of time, you probably know that planning and organization are something that are near and dear to my heart. You may be surprised then to know that I have been struggling to find a planner system that works for me and my lifestyle. So after trying many different planner systems, such as the Happy Planner, the Get to Work book, the Clean Mama Planner, and more, I have stumbled upon a new to me style of planning that I think is really going to work. The style of planning that I am going to dive full force into is bullet journaling. Now, I've used bullet journals in the past for other types of documenting or tracking, such as for a reading journal, a daily journal, and I have also been using one as a work planner, and it's going so well. So I figured, why not take the bullet journaling system and apply that to my regular everyday planner and start creating a custom journal that's going to work for me. I am so excited by this prospect. I have been binge watching all of the bullet journal planner videos I can find, and I actually have a playlist that I've put together of some of my favorites that I'll put in the description box below in case you want some ideas or examples of what this type of journaling or what this type of planning looks like. So after binging all of those videos, I have come up with a system or some layouts that I think are going to work really well for me, and I'm excited to share those with you. In addition to my everyday planner, I also still use a bullet journal for a reading journal and a daily journal and my work planner. So my plan is to begin sharing the setups for those journals with you each month. That way, if you're looking for a system that works better for you, this may be just the inspiration that you need to try out a bullet journal type of planner as well. Now, today's video is going to be primarily sharing with you the different journals that I am using and some of the supplies that I'm planning to pull from my stash to use in these journals. I will share with you the different pens that I have that I'm going to be using, and also a lot of different stamp examples. Most bullet journalers have very nice handwriting that they have practiced and use some form of calligraphy. I can never say that the first time. Calligraphy inside of their journals. I do not have a lot of experience with calligraphy. Instead of relying on my handwriting in my journals, I'm actually going to pull out my expansive collection of stamps to use instead. So I'll show you some examples of what those stamps are going to be later in this video, but just know that I have a ton of them. So you're going to see a wide variety come out throughout the course of the year, and I will be sure to share links for where you can get them if that's something that interests you as well. The same is true of the decorations or the doodles. I may try and dabble a little bit with drawing my own images, but for the most part, I'm also going to use my stamps for that as well. It gives me a great excuse to pull out my stamps that I've been collecting through the years of scrapbooking and use them in a new, fresh, exciting way. Now, before we get to the desk view where I'm going to share all of the supplies with you, I do want to remind you to subscribe if you have not already so you can follow along on this journaling journey, and also so you can stay up to date with all of my crafty adventures in the scrapbooking world as well. And if you are excited to see all of this journaling and planning and organization and all of that type of content, hit the like button on this video down below as well, so I know that you are all as excited as I am. All right, friends, let's go ahead and flip you over to the desk view so I can share all of the different supplies I'm going to be using in my bullet journaling journey, adventure. I should call it an adventure. That's easier to say. And once we are finished up with that later in the week or potentially next week, you're going to see my very first plan with me journal setup video, likely for my 2022 planner annual pages. So hopefully that will pique your interest. All right, friends, let's switch over to the desk view and take you through all of the supplies. All right, friends, so let's talk a little bit about the different journals that I am going to be working on throughout the course of the year, as well as the supplies that I will be using in setting up and documenting inside of these 4 different journals. Now, that might seem a bit extensive, but each journal serves a different purpose. The very first one here on top is the newest addition to my bullet journal collection, we'll call it. This is the journal that I'm going to use primarily as my planner. So this will hold information about our family, the different activities that we have going on, homework and habits and cleaning and meals and all of those types of things that you would put inside of a normal weekly planner. Now, the beautiful thing about this is I'm able to customize it, as you will see in videos in the future, to exactly what our family's needs or my personal needs are for a journal, or for a planner, which is why I love this style of planner. Now, this one is not set up yet. I am going to take you through the process from beginning to end with me. So we are going to start with a separate video that will be my 2022 annual pages setup, and then we're going to move directly into the month of March. So I'm skipping January and February and starting right where we are at. This journal comes from Archer and Olive, as do all 4 of the journals that you're going to see today, and is in the A5 size. This is one that was just recently released, and I loved the designs on the journal. So that is what prompted me to get this in the first place. I do believe that my planner journal, this one, will end up being a total of 2 journals, but for now we're starting where we're at with this one. My second journal here is, again, an A5 size from Archer and Olive. This one is a green linen cover with a little potted plant here. And I loved this symbol because to me it symbolizes growth. And this is a bullet journal that is totally dedicated to my work. So I have a very creative type of entrepreneur at work and a lot to keep track of when it comes to content creation and deadlines and all of that kind of stuff. So this journal I have dedicated as a planner specifically for my work life. And I've been using this now for the last 3 months. It has been working fantastic. This journal here is what prompted me to create one for the rest of my life as well, because of how well this one is working. I have not filmed the introduction or the setup for the 2022 year or January, February, or March pages, but I am planning to start sharing the setups of my future months moving forward. So we'll start with April and then we'll work through the rest of the year. That way, if you're looking for ideas on how to create a custom type of journal situation for your work industry or whatever it is that you do as a job, then this could potentially be a solution that would work for you. And if you're like me and you work in the creative industry and you do a lot of content creation, this could also be a great way to help you document and keep track of all of those deadlines as well. My third journal here, this one again is another A5 journal from Archer and Olive. This one I purchased last year, and it's this very beautiful floral pattern with a kind of leather or faux leather type of material as the cover. This journal, I was inspired by Heba El-Sabbahy, who is My Little Journal here on YouTube, to create a dedicated place for documenting my reading goals and the books I've read throughout the course of the year. So this is my reading journal. Again, I have not filmed the process for how the pages came together for either last year or this year, but I thought that moving forward, I could share with you my monthly pages as I work through setting those up. So in a future video, I will do a flip through of what I have set up through now, and then we'll go ahead and put together the remaining pieces for my, I believe for my April is where we're going to start, my April month. So excited to give you guys a look inside this album, inside this journal. and show you how I'm documenting my reading. Then last but not least, I have a final journal here from Archer and Olive. Again, this one is a B5 size. So this one is significantly bigger than the A5, as you can see here. This journal I am using as a daily journal. So inside I have layouts where each layout is a full week of boxes, one box for each day, and I'm adding in journaling about that day. I can open this up and show you an example really quick. So like this one where I've just added a ton of words. There's not a lot of decoration in here right now. It just is a very functional purpose of giving me a place to house my daily journaling. This album I purchased in this gold like sun type of pattern. This is again a linen cover, which I super duper love. And I chose the sun symbol because it just felt like, I don't know, like warmth and sunshine and happiness. And to me, that's what writing often feels like for me. I love, love, love to write. So this was a really fun journal to dive into this year. I have been using this now for the past 2 months and it has been working fantastic. I, again, do not have the setup footage for this journal or for January or February, but starting this month with March, I'm going to start sharing my setups for this journal as well. And I'm also going to change up slightly my cover pages and give them a bit more decoration than I have in the past. So that should hopefully make those videos interesting for you as well. So those are my 4 different journals, 3 in the A5 size and 1 in the B5 size. In addition to the journals, let me push these off. In addition to the journals, I am also planning to use my stamps. As I said in my introduction, I am not a very good doodler. I dabble, but I am not fantastic at doodling. However, I do have an extensive stash of stamps, whether they are numbers and alphabets, or they could be seasonal, or they could be sentiment-based, or they could be doodles and drawings. So I am going to be dipping into my stamp collections to help me create my titles and my illustrations inside of all of my different books. I wanted to show you some examples of the types of stamps that you are going to see me work with. And then as I complete my layouts, I will be sure to share all of the products and the information and everything you can still get in my video descriptions. That way, if it is a font or an image that you particularly like and would like to try out in one of your journals, then you'll know exactly where to go. So some of the stamps that you will see me using are my Ali Edwards Stories by the Month stamps, because I'm going to be putting together a planner, and all of the 4 journals are going to be very month-based. I love the idea of using my Stories by the Month, which are, as you can guess, monthly themed stamps from Ali to help me add illustrations and to also help me add some titles or subtitles in my journals. In addition to the Stories by the Month stamps, I also have a collection that is ever growing of alphabet stamps. Anything from a larger type of font to something that is squat but fat to something that is really small. So I am trying to pull a variety of different alphabet stamps, and I'm going to use those instead of my handwriting to create my titles. Now, one of the things I decided to do in regards to my alphabet stamps is to choose one each month, maybe 2, and that will be my font theme for the month. So what you're going to see when we put together my March pages for the planner is that I'm actually going to be using this lined alpha for all of my titles. And that's going to make everything feel really cohesive, like it all goes together. So lots of these different alphabet stamps. And then I also have some more planner specific stamps, ones that have days of the week or months of the year. Some of them that have trackers already printed, or they are stamped so I can just stamp out my trackers instead of having to draw them. shapes and all of those types of things. So it won't just be the alphabet and number stamps. There will also be some that are a little more seasonal and some that are a little bit more planner geared. So as I said, I will be sure to link up any of the stamps that I am actually using throughout the course of my process videos or my plan with me videos here moving forward. Aside from these stamps and the journals, a few other supplies that you're going to see come up in all of my videos will be a couple of different rulers. I prefer the metal ruler because it has a very straight edge and they don't dent very easily versus the plastic ruler, which I also really like, but I find that they have little dents in them that make them sometimes not super straight. So I might be investing in a smaller version of this metal ruler just because it's a little bit easier to manage sometimes with the smaller one, but I generally like to have a 12-inch and a 6-inch ruler to work with. I also have this archival black ink from Close to My Heart. This is it's held together magnetically, which is really nice. It's got a super large pad and it is a bit of a tougher pad on the top. So I tend to like them when they are a little bit more firm, the stamp pads themselves. And I have been using this one in my albums already, and it does not bleed through the pages. So I feel very confident in this particular ink. I also have a wide variety of colored inks in a wide variety of ink types. I have some that are distress inks from Tim Holtz. I have some that are a pigmented ink, which means it stays on top of the paper a little bit more. It doesn't quite go into the paper as much. Those are primarily from Ali Edwards. I have a couple of dye inks from Paper Person Shop. And then I also have some that are a hybrid between the pigment and the dye inks from scrapbook.com. So you'll see a wide variety of those show up. And again, I will be sure to link anything I use in the descriptions of my videos moving forward. Another thing that is essential for my planning is a good pencil and a very good eraser. I'm going to be using these white plastic erasers. This one is from Tombow, but any plastic white eraser will work. This is because I like to pre-sketch out all of my pages and then trace over them in the markers or the pens that I'm choosing to use. This helps me avoid mistakes and also lets me design my pages so that they are to scale so that everything fits the way that I want it to. So a good pen and a good eraser. So then let's talk about pens and markers that I'm going to be using throughout the course of my videos. The majority of my tracing and all of my black lines are going to be drawn with my Micron fine liner pens. I right now have mostly the 03 number, so this is 0.35 millimeters. I like a very thin line, and I also really prefer the felt tip. So that is why I have chosen the fine liner pens like this. I've also purchased, and I will be using the 05, which is 0.45 millimeters, and the 08, which is 0.5 millimeters. So that is going to give me some choices on the thickness of my black line, going from very thin to much bolder in the 0.5, right, or this 08 number. So mostly you'll see me using the 03, but I'll probably play around with the other two sizes as well. Then I also have two of these Jelly Roll white pens, the Sakura white pen. This one is an 05 and this one is an 08. Again, meaning that the 05 is thinner and the 08 is a little bit thicker, a little bit bolder. So that's going to serve as my white pens here. And then I have the fine liner, or not fine liner, the midliner markers and highlighters. So I pulled out the two green ones, but I really actually have I have a variety pack of each of them that has a large range of colors. The midliner brushes, and these are by Zebra, these are double-ended. So on one end you have, I'll bring this up here. On one end you have this very like brush type of pen, right? Not very, it is a brush type of pen, a brush pen there. And then on the opposite side, there is a thinner pointed more like a marker type of pen tip. For the midliner double, what is this one? Just a plain midliner, right? So this is a midliner. This is a midliner brush. So for the regular midliner, when you open it up, it has a tip like you would see on a normal highlighter, okay? And then the opposite side is again that nice thin type of marker point. So I like having the option of being able to draw thicker lines with the highlighter and then being able to use the brush pen to create more brush lettering types of lines and types of artwork on my journal as I experiment more and more with that. So those are the pens that I'm going to be using. This is my pouch that I'm going to keep all of my pens and everything in. So you can see in here that there are a lot more than just those green ones, but I figured that would give you a good representation of what is included in my pens there. All right, friends, this is where I am going to go ahead and end this video. I hope that you are excited for some of this planning stuff to come. If you have any questions about any of the supplies that I am using, please leave them in the comments down below. I'll do my best to answer with my novice knowledge, but novice knowledge is more than, I guess, zero knowledge. So I will do my best to answer. I will have another video coming out very soon that will take you through the setup for my 2022 bullet journal planner. That's going to be the first video you will see here. And just looking forward to diving in and getting a better handle on life, I suppose, a better organization system going and inspiring you along the way. All right, friends, I will be back with those videos later. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, friends.